Welcome to PixelWankers. There you go.
See you later, Scott.
Mic drop!
I'm done.
Is that how our show just goes? It's a welcome and then it ends.
No, welcome
Probably
to
our best
PixelWankers.
episode.
I'm Scott.
I'm Mitch.
Crow.
And I'm Tim.
And we're the PixelWankers.
So, Scott, what are we starting out with today?
Some Batman versus Superman.
Superman's not pretty like that. He's like, Superman.
What was with that voice?
What one?
Batman's.
Oh, dude, no, that makes perfect sense. I've actually, this is like a tangent already. Imagine. So, I was thinking about like the Batman comic that I wanted to do forever ago. Like I was gonna build a pitch. I was gonna send it to DC. I'd be like, hey, I want to do like 24 issues.
And they're just gonna send you a lawsuit.
Yeah.
No.
Well, I just want to do 24 issues of like my vision of Batman and what he would be. And honestly, it would have to end in like 24 issues, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less. But one of the things that I had was a voice changer, and actually like a thing that changes the way the face looks, so it wouldn't ever look like Bruce Wayne. It does not make sense, dude.
How would you change his face?
It would be almost like a little hologram thing that changes. So one day he would be.
It gives him a different mustache every
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
You just have to put glasses on. Everyone buys Superman.
Yeah. You know what's funny about that? Did you see the Henry Cavill thing where he's walking around downtown New York with the Superman shirt on and nobody notices?
Oh no, I didn't see that.
Nobody has an idea who he is.
Funny.
It's like and his little thing was like, guess the glasses work. All he has is like a jacket, but it looks just like him. But yeah, so that's what one of the things for my Batman is like his voice would have to change because come on, dude, voice recognition software, that's easy nowadays. Batman can't talk without it. Like somebody would be like, hey Siri, who's this? And she'd be like, oh, that's Bruce Wayne, you dipshit. And then changing the face, dude, that would be too easy. So you would have to have something to keep people guessing. So they would think that it's like multiple guys, or even just something that blurs it, like some sort of distortion filter, so you could never take a picture.
Why
Like
not just wear a
Japanese
full
porn, it's
mask?
just all pixels, giant.
Why not just wear like a full mask that's like pantyhose on the front, but
Have
it's
you
like
ever
flat or
tried-
something?
See, that's how I know you've never been in a fight, dude. You're huffing and puffing by the end of that. Like if you're like you've got a mask after like 5 punches, you're in trouble. But
Spider-Man does it.
yeah, and Spider-Man has superpowers. Jackass. Come on.
Jackass. No, I mean I thought it was cool. I mean like that sounds like a pretty cool little story, like idea.
Yeah, well, it makes sense. Like, so Ben Affleck having it, like, it's funny because right now in the theaters they have a, can you guess this smile? And like I see it, and I've only seen a couple Ben Affleck movies, like Daredevil, Argo, and The Town, and I can't name anything else that I've seen Ben Affleck in. Oh wait, no.
Geely.
Yeah, I was just
I
saying
never
like
seen that.
wasn't he in
Lucky Number 11. He was in that for like a minute.
Was he?
Yeah, they kill him, and
Okay,
he's the
yeah,
face that Chris Pine is like playing with. He's like, I'll see you in heaven. He's like, you think so? And he like really starts crying.
Wasn't he in any other Kevin Smith movies?
I've
Yeah, he's
seen.
in-
I haven't ever made it through a full Kevin Smith movie, except for
Right.
Zack and
Really?
Mary.
Zack Mary is probably the best.
Zack
the
and
only
Mary
one
is
he
the
did.
only one I
He
can
was
make
in
it through.
Dogma. He
Yeah.
was in.
Was he Mallrats?
Yeah, he was in Mallrats. He was the guy from the good-looking like guy store or whatever it was called.
I think Kevin Smith was like on set, like helping write some of the.
It's funny because he's come
Batman
out
versus Superman.
and like, I could tell you what the problem is.
Oh really? He did.
Got no humor. Needs jokes like Marvel, because those jokes last for a long time, right? No, their jokes make their movies like unwatchable after a while.
Well,
I
that's
get it.
That's true. Okay, so let's bring this up because DC specifically said, I think they came out saying like we're not going to do jokes,
I think that's
even though our character's named the Joker.
Scott. Okay.
What?
No.
No, I actually I think what he said
You're right.
is true.
Actually.
I think DC came out and said that like it was going to be like a no joke, which is funny because they actually have a couple jokes, like 2 jokes.
Yeah.
But I do think that it should be a little bit lighter. I think your jokes need to be very like well placed in order to make it so you can rewatch it over and over again. Like the only one that's like consistently funny after you've seen it a couple times is Guardians of the Galaxy. Like the jokes that they make, like in the other ones, is like, all right, I get it.
I think those were fresh. Like the Avengers, honestly, Avengers 2 jokes were really bad. Like Even some of the stuff at the beginning where he's like talking about him swearing or whatever.
Language.
Yeah, like language is like.
Well, it feels like the jokes that they built in the Avengers are more than anything fanfare. They aren't like jokes, just conversational jokes. That's what I think Guardians of the Galaxy did really well. Is it was written as a comedy first and a superhero movie second.
Yeah.
You know, and so it just did well in the context of what it was, and less of like this is a Spider-Man joke or this is a whatever. You know, it wasn't fanfare.
Yeah. Yeah, I can agree.
So we're kind of all over the board with his Batman.
Yeah, we
versus
haven't even
Superman
really
review.
talked about Batman versus Superman. Real quick, we should probably say that spoilers are probably going to fly.
Yeah.
Like crazy. So if you don't want spoilers, get out.
Probably should have gotten out like 10 minutes ago, but
Well, the only thing we've really talked about is the voice thing.
yeah.
And
Okay.
if you pay attention during the trailers when he's like, "Do you bleed?" Like it sounds like that. And this voice sounds far better than
Christian Bale.
Christian Bale.
I agree.
It's actually
You
Christian
just
Bale.
oh damn, full of people. They're gonna do good.
I hope the voice changer is actually just Christian Bale.
No, it's cool because at one point Alfred like actually holds it up and he's like testing it out,
Oh,
and
okay.
so you can hear his voice switch over. Yeah, but what were you gonna go on after that?
Well, I was just gonna say. Well, first off, I think we should say whether we liked it or disliked it.
Yeah.
Now I'll go first. I'll say it was better than I had anticipated. 'Cause seeing the trailer, I was like, "Ooh, that's a little poopy."
Nice little dookie doo.
But after seeing the second trailer, all cut or third, whatever it was, where it was all cut together like cool and ended with like Batman like blocking Superman's punch, I was like, "Oh, this looks pretty cool." But I feel like they're just cutting together all the good things now, and I'm not getting any of the things. So I'm looking at the thing like, I'm not that excited about this movie. But then watching it, I'm like, yeah, this is a pretty good movie. And people were kind of giving it shit. Like, critics were giving it crap. I kind of expected a poor story, but really good action. Because critics didn't like it, but fans liked it. But I actually feel like they're pretty on par with each other. They're not the greatest action, not the greatest story. But, you know, they're there like in the 60%.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I think somewhere between like 65 to 73, somewhere in there. It's like a
It's pretty specific. It's a 73.
Point two.
Well,
Why?
that should scare you. You're on the same wavelength.
That
as
is
Scott.
pretty terrifying.
What you guys don't know is the longer you sit with me, like the more I punch off your brains. And
But yeah, I think like it's actually like right where like exactly where I thought it would be. They still surprised me with some stuff, but it was like the movie was as good as I thought it would be. It wasn't worse than I thought it would be. You know, some of the stuff they pulled off better, but then again, they missed some marks that I didn't necessarily expect them to shoot so far off. But I can say that I did not know what fully to expect in terms of the way the story was going to go, and what I did expect, I was off. I was like way off.
yeah,
Because I thought like the ending scene was going to be Batman in that doomsday world, and you're going to find out that Darkseid has been there the entire time, and he's going to have like Superman under control, you know. And
so is that what was happening with those weird bat thing, like in that world that was like post-apocalyptic world that he was dreaming of? Is that
that's an alternate reality, at least from what I like can gather. Like he straight up saw like an alternate reality or an alternate future, and so that's why the Flash was coming back, and he's just like warning him like the way things are, you know.
okay? Yeah, that was so that brings up a good point. I wanted to bring up a little bit, but yeah, okay.
Because he kind of, you know, he says that you were right about him all along, and I think he's saying that you're right that Superman has the ability to just like do whatever he wants and make us his bitches, but Lois is the key. You know, he's like Lois is the key, and he's warning him like you're gonna have to protect Lois if you don't want Clark to go off the deep end. And I think
So
we're gonna
okay,
get,
that's what he was trying to say. Because
Yeah.
I was kind of it was kind of confusing as sort of more of a casual viewer. Since you've read more of the comics, you probably know some.
I
of
actually
the
haven't read
storylines.
crap in terms of like JLA. Like I don't like Superman. I don't like it all. I started reading more of the New 52, but just like all their stuff, they're rebooting it again. So that being said, like I absolutely loved that like they had the alternate reality and Flash came back. Like to me, that was like the highlight of the movie because as soon as I saw that, I was like, damn, like these guys are really going like all in. They're not gonna like pull any punches. They're gonna do everything they can to kind of like establish this universe and show you. Like, I don't know. To me, like it took a lot of balls to like throw in like a goddamn time traveling sequence from the
right
Flash.
in the middle of it.
Yeah, and it was out of nowhere. Like you did not expect that. And that was like one of the problems though, is the first half of the movie, you're like, what the fuck is going on? Like, because they're all over the place. It's like you see Batman's like backstory, and then you see the very end of the last movie, and then you see.
Well, you see his like backstory
In
ish.
the-
It's
yeah.
like he's all the cool stuff happens where it shows like the not cool, but his family gets murdered and
Yeah, the cool
it's,
stuff.
It's interesting looking and you know. But then it goes to like the graveyard where he's like standing there and he runs off. Alfred's kind of running after him, and then and you're like, okay, cool. And then he falls down this pit. You're like, oh, okay, so that's like the Bat Cave or something kind of thing. But then like the bats start lifting him up into the air. You know, it's like, okay.
That's like the first ugly shot I've seen Snyder do in a long time.
When his feet lifted up, just me and my wife just looked at each other like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, what are we watching?
Bad Jesus
Yeah.
returns.
Yeah, that was like, and to, like in my opinion, like I was in the exact same boat. You know, I was like, no, like that's stupid. But that's the only unappealing shot in the entire movie. Everything after that is just like beautiful.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, it's kind of like gritty and kind of got that same texture that you got in the last in Man of Steel. But beyond that, it was like everything was like cool looking, right?
Yeah.
It's like the fight at the end. Like, as soon as the climax kicks in, they're like, okay, so Batman's gonna fight Superman. Okay, well when that starts, it's like just buckle in because it's a fucking ride for the rest of the time.
Yeah.
It's like it goes from that to the Doomsday fight, and it's just like it's craziness, dude. And Wonder Woman shows up, and that thing's freaking dope. Like, oh, dude, it's so good. Did your audience
She
go
really
crazy?
Well, I have something to tell you about audience. Holy cow. I had the worst guy. So like we went to the AMC. Anyone who's not in Utah probably doesn't know what that is. AMC, they have these like big like red seats that can like recline back and shit. Like they're the best. Like
It's amazing.
that's where I love to go to movies. Like I honestly don't like to go to the other movies other than that because it's just like it's chill. So we go there and we all sit down and we're watching the movie for like the first like 20 minutes. Perfect fine. No one's sitting next to my wife. So it's like me, my wife, and my friends, and then on the side of her, no one's there. And 20 minutes in the movie, some people either douchebags who just walked into the theater from like the exit, like smoking, which I'm guessing that's what they did because they stunk of cigarettes and like booze. Walked up, sat next to my wife because I think they saw that was the only like open seat, and then just started talking the whole shitty time. And like she turned to me, she's like, "Do you want to move? Or do I need to like rip into these people?" I'm like, I'll move over there because she'll just lose it. Like,
Why didn't you just let her rip into it?
so well,
That's kind of a good card to have, dude. Just let your wife go.
yeah, but
that really is kind of like
Well-
that's the thing that needs to happen.
well,
'cause
the
it's not
thing is,
just for you.
one, I didn't want her to like, I didn't want her to not like the movie. I wanted her to like sit and enjoy the movie, and I can deal with these people more or less. And two, I would like to like deal with these obnoxious people. I don't need my wife like in the middle of
But
this
did you-
battle. I'd rather just deal with them myself.
So
you know,
did
if
you do
someone's
it, or
bothering
did
me.
you just sit next to him?
So we switched seats, and like the people are like on top of each other, like kissing each other, and like me and Mitch are gonna read that right now. Like like legs like spread all over the shit. Like literally, one point they both leave the theater and go get a BJ. I'm not shitting you. Like I wanted to take their shit and just like throw it down the theater and like when they were gone. But so
They both go get a
I'm
BJ.
hearing a really
I'm very-
roundabout way that you did not handle it. at
well
all.
so I sat there and I for the most part they were a little quieter for when I moved over.
Normally people mellow out when they get blowjobs. You want to settle a dude down.
Oh yeah, he's jonesing for something. But but no, so like when I moved,
It's a public cinema, like.
Does that never happen to
What?
you?
not in the cinema. They like left and went somewhere. I'm just
Oh,
supposing they're
Jesus.
probably jerking each other.
You know
'cause
what's
they-
cool is we can call it cinema and not be like pompous pricks. We're just like, no, I just got it from this guy.
Yeah. I'm just following the British guy. But so basically I move over to the seat and they start to calm down. But then like, half hour, 45 minutes in, they start talking again, and the guy is so fucking obnoxious. Every time Batman comes on the screen, he's like, "Oh yeah, Batman! Oh yeah!" I'm like, shut the fuck up! Have you never seen Batman before? Like, I wish I was kidding you there. So like, I finally, at my wit's string, I turned to I was relatively polite, even though I probably shouldn't, and you guys probably gonna say, well, you shouldn't be polite at all, but I said, hey, be quiet. We're trying to watch this movie. I don't want to hear from you guys. I turned back, and they were quiet for another, 20, 30 minutes, and then they started acting up, and by that point, it was the end of the movie, but...
Damn.
And a hail of popcorn came flying your way.
They had popcorn, just jizz on my face.
The last time I was in a movie and somebody did that, it was this old guy, and for some reason, he keeps looking at his phone, and it's Jurassic World. I'm hating this movie. I think this movie's retarded, and I'm still like, knock the fuck off. There's people enjoying it,
Yeah.
even if I'm not. And so the third time he does it, I'm all, sir, you need to put that away. And I just sit there like that for a second, and he's all, ooh, puts it away, and I'm like, fucking right.
Yeah.
Like, and then he didn't bring it back out, but I can't tolerate that. Like, I'm not paying money to listen to your bullshit or look at your phone.
Yep.
Like, if you want to go check your phone, awesome story, bro. Get the fuck in the hallway.
Yeah, especially a movie that's like people like want to see Batman versus Superman.
Yeah.
Like this isn't like the Teletubby movie or whatever.
I don't
It's
care.
not like something that people are just mind-bogglingly going and seeing. With
I've been a
kids.
prick in one movie.
What's
I
that?
was awful in I, Frankenstein. Me and Andrea were shredding the shit out of that movie, and people around us were laughing pretty hard. So that's not
You
good.
had
'Cause
the audience on your side.
yeah, there might be somebody in there that's like, these fucking people, I'm enjoying
Yeah.
this, So that's not cool. Like, even in Jurassic World, like I said, I hated the movie.
Well, it's just the disrespect. Like it's not like tearing the movie. Like if it's a bad movie, I don't really mind people tearing it. I know that like others might, but it's, I guess like the other movie before this that I can see that we actually said something was like me and my brothers are pretty like relaxing people. We don't really like get after people. I don't really like go off the chain. We're watching that Halloween that Rob Zombie did, which is not a good movie.
I liked
Which
those.
we could have probably
The first or
ripped
second?
into. It was the first one.
I liked
And the
it.
people behind us were just obnoxious. Just, yeah, we're in a movie. And yeah, it's me and Susie in the movie. And we're
Are
sitting
there
here-
Muppets in the movie that you go to?
Yeah, we're here in the movie.
Batman!
Yeah, so Kermit, we're in this movie.
I don't think Scott's liking us at all.
But so I almost turned around. I didn't. My brother finally turned around, and he just ripped. I've never seen my brother rip into somebody. He turned around. He was just like, "Get off that fucking phone, or get out of this movie theater right now." And they're just like, "Oh," and he's like, "Seriously, stop talking. We're trying to watch a movie." And then he like turned around and sat down, like all steaming. Like, I'm like, "Oh man!" But it had to get to that because we waited like an hour of just this.
See, to me, that's bullshit, man. I hate how passive people are and how scared to shut somebody up they are. Like, everybody...
And I'm in that bracket. I'll take it until I just can't anymore.
See, but people get shit on for nothing. Like, there's a ton of other passive people that are waiting for one person to be like, knock it the fuck off. And as soon as you do, people will be like,
They're
yeah!
like, yes, that guy. When I was at a movie, I was at the very top row, and it was Planet of the Apes with Bailey, and there's someone on like the third row in, sitting on his phone like you were, every couple minutes. And I pulled out my phone and I turned my flashlight on, and the whole theater just lights up. And he looks back, and I turn it off, and I didn't say anything, and he never pulled his phone out again. And I just waited for him to open it, and I was like, that was it. It's like,
That's awesome.
do something. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I used to. Oh, sorry, dude.
No, go ahead.
Whenever I used to go to the cinema in England, like every time I went, it was awful because it's full of chavs, full of teenagers, just like
Muppets.
yeah, and it was just like I didn't have one good cinema experience.
Oh my god.
Really?
And yet, coming here, I've had really good cinema experiences. There's been one, maybe two times where someone's been talking like, here's an example. When I was in England, I went and saw 300, and like there's these 13-year-olds that snuck in, and so they're like, oh my god, boobies, you know, and they're behind us and they're talking really loud, and then they start a burping contest, and then they start a farting contest, and I'm like, come on guys, like, and they're all giggling every time, and it's just like, oh.
Then Mitch tased them.
See,
Yeah.
no, this is the problem because people in England are so polite
No
that
one's
they
gonna
can't
say
say
anything.
shit.
No, I know.
Don't
And it
make
was awful.
America like England. You say some shit.
Yeah. No, seriously, when America's making England look good, that's when it's like, whoa.
Well,
gotta
we
straighten
have
up.
a different culture here in Utah than elsewhere in like the U.S. Because when I was in the South, like you go watch a movie in Georgia, it's just gonna be loud. People come in, and if something happens on screen, everybody in the audience is like, "Woo!" Like it's just an interactive thing, and it's
Yeah.
terrible. Like I hated it. I hated going to movies in Atlanta. Hated Louisiana. Like I hated everywhere in the South I went to a movie.
We just lost our
'Cause I
whole southern demographic.
all of them. We need to get one so we can lose it.
But
No.
like you say that, but like I went to the midnight IMAX of Avengers
Uh-huh.
when it first came out, and it was the opening night, and like everyone was whooping and hollering, and it was really fun. Like it was kind of like when they do that shot where they pan across everyone, you know, everyone's clapping and like cheering, and I was like, this is awesome. This is like
Yeah.
just like watching it with my friends. It's just like everyone's just cheering at the right minutes, and everyone's shocked at the Coulson death, and like
That's
like
It's
different
different,
than
though.
the
Yeah,
one
yeah,
guy
yeah.
behind you going, yeah, dude, we're going to go after the show and grab a couple pints. And you're just
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
shut up, dude.
no, I can see that. Like
Yeah.
if it's to do with the story, like the sort of ebb and flow of like
Mhm.
you know the actual action on
Yeah.
the screen.
Sure.
Because when Wonder Woman came in, it went fucking bananas in there. People were just like,
You went opening night though, right? Like 12
Yeah.
o'clock?
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, like I went. No, I didn't go like at 12 o'clock. I went at 9:30. I had to be over there. The comic convention ends at 9 o'clock,
Mm-hmm.
and I just like beelined over to the theater like right after to make sure that I got there. So these guys don't have any excuse for not seeing it.
What?
I went to the line and I was there, but I couldn't be bothered to wait.
I
I had
went.
nothing going on, and no, I didn't do it.
That is a dead on Tim.
He saw Zootopia, so there's an excuse.
But you did see
Yeah.
Zootopia.
It's
I want to
awesome.
talk about that thing too.
But well, I still haven't seen it, so you can't. I don't want spoilers. Tim doesn't care. But Mitch is like actually in line. He's like, I'll just go
Yeah,
home. And
I went lined up.
Really?
So the situation was, Anne's got the day off work, and it was awesome because it was unexpected, and I was like, cool. So do you want to go see this film and like let's just go and like you know I was like let's just go and get it over with because everyone's gonna talk about it, you know. And Anne was like, yeah, I'm really excited to go see it. So there's a showing at like 1 o'clock or 1:20 or something, and then there was another one 2:20 or 1:40 and 2:20, and I was like, okay, well let's aim for the early one. So we get there, it's Easter Sunday, it is rammed. There's like one seat available. And I was
So you
like,
guys split it. You just sat on each other's laps.
yeah, pretty
You
much.
sat on her lap.
And
I was
walked
gonna
in
say,
and
had to
saw
sit on
Mitch
each
had to
other.
wait in the lobby.
Yeah. And I was like, you know what? I was sort of dragging my heels anyway. I'm not too bothered if I see it today or not, you know.
Yeah.
And then we're like, well, let's try the 2:21, and we look on the board, and it's not until 3:20. And I'm like, I don't want to sit here for an hour just doing nothing. Like, and we weren't hungry. All the stores were closed, and it was like, oh, should we just call it quits? And she was like, yeah, I don't want to wait another hour. I'm not that bothered. So we ended up just going home. So we were in the line ready to go, and then we just because it was so busy, there was families everywhere. It was nuts. I was like, whatever.
Buy
I'm
tickets
not too
online.
bothered.
Where do you live?
Yeah.
And that you can't buy tickets online.
Well, we checked the seats. We checked the seats, and it was fine. There was a whole bunch of space, and by the time we got there, it filled up so quick.
Where
Yeah, it's just-
was it Chic House?
No, it was the Megaplex in Valley Fair.
Yeah, because Sugar House does that all the time where I'll be like, oh, this looks like it's good. And I walk down there and it's like 3 hours before and there's no one in, no seats. I'm like, what?
But yeah, so back to the movie real quick. Maybe we should wrap this up just because these guys don't have too much
Yeah,
to
yeah.
say.
So,
Lex Luthor was a lot better than I anticipated. Still not great, but a lot more enjoyable. They planted a shit ton of seeds, and I think that this movie almost kind of sacrificed its first 45 minutes to kind of like start setting some seeds, so you're gonna like see some stuff pay off
Yeah.
later. I liked it for that. Like I like that they're actually going all in. They're taking risks, because Marvel kind of follows the same formula that's pretty safe. They got the same brand of jokes. You know, like, hey, well, we're doing a heist movie in this one. It's like, all right, I get it, but it's still like very formulaic and it fits your little cookie cutter mold. And DC doesn't have a mold like that. They're out to tell stories and they're taking risks. And to me, I'll take a risky movie over a safe movie any day. Like, it's going to be far more fun if we start supporting movies that take risks, like Edge of Tomorrow.
I'm glad you said that, because I think Superman should have cracked that guy's neck in that bar. That's a risk they should have taken.
Yes.
I'm trying to
But go on.
Go back to the argument that you didn't like.
I got that.
Mitch is
But-
a shark. You
Yeah.
dumped him.
But yeah, so I'm stoked that they took the chances, and I understand not all of them paid off. Some of them I thought did. Like, the action sequences were amazing. Wonder Woman is awesome. And when I left the theater, well, I kind of felt like this movie may not have like the rewatchability of like, you know, Winter Soldier, but it's like it's setting stuff up that made me super excited for what's to come. Like, I remember walking out and I'm like, damn, I am stoked for that Justice League movie next year. Like, I feel like it served its purpose of like, hey, this is who Batman is, and this is what's coming. Like, I almost felt like they just kind of like opened the door just a little bit so you get like a little bit of an idea as to what's coming, and it's just like, okay, this is gonna be awesome. Like,
Yeah.
I'm totally sold on the idea of like the JLA coming in and having some pretty dope content. Like, I do understand that they're gonna go a little bit lighter, and I think that's going to just make it even better. But I know that they're willing to take more risks, and dude, I'm so down for that. So
Yeah.
Well, let me just ask you a real quick question. Like, I haven't seen it, so you know, but if its sole purpose is just to set up another film, then what is the point?
It was a marketing tool.
well, the thing is, you have to establish certain characters and stuff, and you also have to. They wanted to show you that Batman and Superman didn't get along initially, and everybody's always wanted to see Batman and Superman fight on screen. So for one, it was to actually get that fight out of the way, because I don't think with this Batman you're gonna have him flip flop, even though he flip flops in this a little bit. And the reason they stopped fighting, some people are calling bullshit, which I'll get to in just a sec.
It should come out Mother's Day.
But this one, shut up. You guys will get that joke in a second.
No, I know what it is.
Oh, damn. Okay, so, but the other thing is, like, yeah, like, you kind of got to see this stuff build up, and you got to see why Batman trusts Superman by the end, you know? And the way it pays off, you know, with Superman being killed is, like, Batman sees that he's down to pay the ultimate price to protect Earth. And so now he's kind of like, no, he's as good as he says he is, you know? He's willing to do that. But, yeah, so the mother's thing that we were getting to is... Like, Batman's just about to kill Superman. He's got him on the ground. He's got this fucking kryptonite spear that he's about to stab him with. And he's like, he's got Martha! Is what, like,
You know,
Superman says.
he blew his ass away with that grenade thing, the kryptonite powder grenade thing again.
That's
And
how he contends with him.
He's like, and it's not like, oh, you're a little kryptonite, not the big deal. Like, Superman's like, like
Barely
really
standing.
having problems.
Yeah.
And Batman cold-heartedly just beats the shit out of him while he's like coughing and stuff. It's like he's just like kicking him in and punching him, and it's just like, man,
Fucking throws him like down the stairwell of a building. Like, he just launches him down.
Like
and you just see him kinda
Superman
like
gets in a couple of hits, and then I think because he got in a couple hits, I think that's why Batman. Like, I'm thinking like as Batman, I think that's why he shot that little rope thing into him and then swung him around and beat the shit out of him. Like he like literally swings him against like a pillar and like smashes Superman
so
into
cool.
the pillar, and then he's like going over them to like finish him off, and Batman and Superman's just like
basically he's gonna
Martha, please, you know, like stop, you know.
Yeah, he's
Like-
gonna kill Martha, and he's like, why'd you say that name? Why'd you say that name? And he's been trying to tell, like, Superman's been trying to tell him the whole time that Lex has Martha. I don't think so much it's like that it's just Martha. I think that kind of appeals to the fact that it was his mom's name, you know? It does kind of like snap him out of that, like, I'm gonna fuck you up. But then he kind of like starts thinking about what he's been saying the whole time. To me, like,
the
that's
thing
way I
the
thought
thing
that
that's
movie
even
was
more
gonna be.
actually I think it's even more deep than that is that the fact that he says like they're gonna kill Martha, and then he like almost passes out, and Batman like he's like you said, he snaps out of it. He's like, what was that name? Like he thought he like heard it in mistake because he's been having all these weird dreams and stuff. And so I don't think Batman's necessarily like all there. He has sort of like a post-traumatic stress syndrome type thing. And so when he hears that, he's like, what is that? What is that? And Lois Lane is trying to get there, and she finally gets there at the time, and she's like, that's his mom. Like, leave him alone. Like,
Yeah.
And then he's realizing, like, oh shit, like I'm the guy with the gun shooting his mom. Like,
Yeah.
like we need to take care of this.
Yeah,
you know?
and I think he kind of puts together like, oh shit, like we've been played the whole time.
Yeah.
Like, cause Lex just plays those two.
And
like a fiddle.
Batman especially. I think he messes with Batman even more because of that guy without the legs.
The ladders and stuff. Yeah.
He like there's this guy who gets crushed under the building that Superman knocks over, and when Batman gets there, he has to like lift the bar off the guy's legs, and he ends up being like
An amputee.
yeah, an amputee, and he's the one who writes the like false god on the thing. Not spoiling. I'm spoiling everything for you,
Yeah.
but basically Lex uses that guy like a pawn. And just like in his hands, just effing over Batman left and right, and then Superman, like, because he knows Batman is Bruce Wayne. He knows
Clark
Superman,
is
yeah,
Superman.
like he knows all these things, and he's just playing everyone. Like it's not ever like told, but he has
It's
to.
blatantly obvious, man. Like, but that was one of the things. Like when you start realizing like how much Lex is playing everybody. Because that senator in the previews who's like saying that he needs to be like held responsible and stuff, they're holding a court date, and she's like not siding with Lex on letting him bring kryptonite into Metropolis.
Yeah, because he wants to militarize it, so in case Superman goes out.
Yeah, so she tells Lex he's got like a special meeting with her at his place, and she's like, you could call a jar of piss
My grandma's sweet peach tea or something.
Yeah, my grandma's sweet peach tea. And she's like, but it's still going to be piss, and I'm not going to drink it. And when she's in court, she sees, like, this jar, and she turns it around, and it's got your grandma's sweet tea, and it's piss, you know? And then she kind of realizes, like, shit's up. And it's kind of like a scene that goes a little bit longer than it may need to, but holy fuck was it intense as it was going.
Yeah.
I was like, what did he do?
When she
What did he
realizes,
do? Like, his seat's
then
empty.
Superman realizes, and then it goes off.
Yeah, the chair explodes, and Superman's standing there with a bunch of dead people, and he's just in the flames, and he's just like, fuck. Because he can't catch a break. Like, he cannot catch a break in this movie.
That's the thing that it does kill me. I honestly feel like even though Batman's the show in this, I feel like it's so sad watching Superman because you saw the last one and you're like, even the last one, I feel like he went through a lot of stuff and he's just like that good guy, like trying to deal with things in the best way that he possibly knows how. And then with this, like it's like there's some praise to him, but then there's a whole shit ton of backlash that's even way worse. And so it's just like, when does this guy get a break? Like, when?
He's like at home and like he's got the news playing and they're just talking about what like a menace he is and how awful he is, and he just looks like he's just fucking gonna kill himself.
Yeah.
And it's like, damn, dude, like this guy saved the world, and all we're doing is like, well, how are we gonna regulate him? But
yeah,
I don't know. Yeah, it was cool, and there's a lot of facets to it that I like. You know, I think the other thing is like a second viewing is probably gonna make it even better because a lot of stuff's gonna make sense this time that you're guessing
so
the whole time.
tell me all the different, because I'm noob to comics and stuff mostly. So obviously Aquaman is Aquaman. We know kind of who that was going to be. Who was the other guy? The like Cyborg?
Cyborg.
Is that what his name is? Cyborg?
Yeah, Cyborg. He's the shit.
And so he's what is his powers like for like the fans who don't read the comics?
Well, he can like he's basically hooked up to like the internet. As far as I know, he can know whatever he wants. He can do whatever he wants, and then like his machinery just like can really kind of change into whatever he needs. You want him to
is he supposed to be like Cyborg off of Teen Titans?
That's Cyborg.
Yeah,
That's Cyborg. Okay.
They've got like these two guys named Cyborg, but they're way different. Let me tell you.
That's Cyborg number 1.
Yeah.
And that's Cyborg number 2.
Yeah, it's Cyborg, dude. So, yeah, I liked all that, dude. I liked the Flash one. The Flash one didn't feel as necessary, but it made sense.
Yeah.
And then, kind of like we said, man, Wonder Woman was just, she's cool. When she gets like fucking nailed by Doomsday, and she goes flying and like slides across the ground as it like breaks up, and she looks over at him like, hell yeah, it's a fight. Let's go, dude.
Yeah.
Like, and she's all excited.
I kind of feel like
oh, she's the shit.
if she wasn't there, they would have gotten their heads handed to them though.
Yeah. Well, because think about it. It's funny because people were like,
Well, why did Superman have to stab Doomsday?
it's like, Batman can't contend with Doomsday. He's not pulling punches the way Superman is.
Yeah.
That was one of the reasons Batman could fight him in this movie. is because Superman's pulling punches. Every time he hits him, it's like maybe half force.
Oh, should we tell them the sad ending? Do you guys know the sad ending?
They already know. I already told.
Okay.
But so and then Wonder Woman is holding him in place. She gets the whip around him, and she's holding him there. So Doomsday can't get out of the way, and then Clark's like flying with the kryptonite thing. So it's like he had to do it. So I don't know. It made perfect sense to me. But.
Do you think it makes sense to have him, spoiler again, but have him die?
Yeah, ish. The thing is, like, it felt cheap. It felt like, well, Doomsday killed him in the comic book, so we're gonna be true to that. But it doesn't seem necessary, really. Like, I get that they want Batman to kind of go and be the guy who's like, no, we need this. Yeah, I guess, I haven't really thought about it too much. It does make more sense because if Superman's around, he kind of feels like he has a trump card. If he doesn't have the trump card, he needs to put this team together that's going to be able to, deal with these massive threats.
Well,
So it
and
makes more
here's
sense
the
than
other
first thought.
kind of hit on it. Is he dead?
No.
The little stones going up then, kind of like.
For one, it's comic books, and for two, why is the Earth moving on top of his casket?
Yeah.
That's the very last shot you see, like the dirt rise. No, he's not dead, dude. He's coming back. They've been talking.
There's
about
just like someone above, like the grave, like messing with
Puppeting.
it.
So they liken the next movie to Samurai 7.
Oh really?
Yeah. So I imagine there's going to be a massive invading force, and they're going to have to kind of protect it, which is a dope ass premise for a superhero movie. But who are the 7? You've got Cyborg,
Flash.
Flash,
Batman.
Wonder Woman, Batman. Who else? Because I don't know that they're. I know they want to bring in Green Arrow, so we'll just say, or not Green Arrow, Green Lantern, Aquaman, and then who else?
Do we count Aquaman twice?
No.
Okay.
So
Wonder Woman.
No, we count Woman.
We already
Wonder
counted
Woman's in
Wonder
there.
Superman.
Superman would be the 7th.
Okay.
How are you going to have Jay Elliott without Superman? You're not going to
Yeah.
do it.
Oh,
He's
and
in
also-
the promotional art.
Like the poster for Aquaman said "Unite the Seven," right? Or
Yeah,
something?
yeah.
So what do you guys?
Seven.
Well, okay, let's move a little bit away from Batman vs Superman since we talked about it so long. But like now, what about Suicide Squad? Like how do you feel that fits in with the rest of this?
I'm
with us?
so much more excited to see Suicide Squad after seeing Batman, like in a that full hand-to-hand scene is amazing. The idea of the Batman movie now is like the best idea of the adaptation of Batman on the big screen, in my opinion. Like, don't get me wrong, I absolutely love like Nolan's stuff, but that is like a completely different take. I love the way you get to see Ben Affleck just beat the shit out of people.
He takes no names. It's just
No.
like not even beat the shit out of him. He's just like cold-blooded, like boom, boom, boom. He's grabbing someone, like holding them up, like just like this crazy fight scenes. It's like, dang, Batman, like what happened to Adam West? Like he just compelled them.
Yeah.
He didn't like
Yeah, no
dismember
Capal's
them.
here.
Yeah.
No Capal's here. It's
Ange and I watched the DC thing that they did, like the announcement of their new stuff. It was like an hour long, and it was all their new comics and stuff. So they're sort of shuffling around a lot of the writers and.
Where's Greg Capullo going?
I can't remember. He didn't
Is he
show up. Like they had Scott Snyder come out, and they had all these other people like that are taking over the reins and stuff. And Scott Snyder's going to something else, but they didn't mention what Capullo's doing.
I don't think he's in anything.
No, I don't.
Because you don't
yeah.
just not talk about Capullo. If he's
No,
on
I
the
know.
book.
They mentioned him a lot, but he didn't show up for the thing.
Is Suicide Squad going to be a prequel to this movie?
I don't know. I don't think it has to be. I think it's
Because you mentioned the armor, the Robin armor, and
Mhm.
if it's the way that you had suspected before, like that the Joker's not actually the Joker, it's just
it's Jason.
then this would have to be a prequel to that, and there would be leave them room to like put another Batman movie in between.
It
the
wouldn't
two
have
of
to
them.
be a prequel.
No.
It's got nothing to do with it.
You don't
I
think
mean,
so?
because if Jared Leto's playing the Joker, it's Jason Todd's Joker. It's not the other Joker. What's his name? Jack Napier. There's supposedly they're revealing his name. It's like I thought his name was Jack Napier. We've talked about this, but I don't think it's got to be a prequel. And I honestly like I'm more excited for the idea of the Batman solo film, seeing the way like he fought and stuff. Cause man, he was like all over the room. He was highly mobile. He's like blocking all those like knives that are coming at him. Like literally, like somebody goes to slash him, he's just like that. but he gets stabbed a couple times.
I'm glad they didn't old man him either. Like in Dark Knight Rises, where, oh, I have a bad back, but I'm gonna beat the shit out of you for 45 minutes and let you kick me in the back, and it's not gonna matter.
Yeah.
He was an old man, but he just used like his wisdom. Like it looks like he's a guy who's fought for a long time, so he'll take some blows, but he just kind of uses stuff to put him down hard and fast. Like when he punches people, it's like this savage punch, and like I don't know, he's just down to beat the hell out of everything. Like I don't know, I loved it. And then the Batmobile was super cool.
Yeah.
Like when he's like coming around that corner and like, because he's chasing this other car when he clips Superman, he's chasing this other car that's actually transporting kryptonite, and Superman gets in the way of it. Otherwise, he's got these guys, and he comes around the corner and Superman's there, and he's kind of like, shit, and he like clips him. It's cool, man. It's quite cool. I'm more excited to see the movie now that we've kind of broken it down. Like,
Yeah.
I want to go watch it again. So my final score, like 73. I'll say 73.
Point two.
I think that's what it was on Rotten Tomatoes, and I was like, yeah, that's like right on.
Yeah. I think like higher 60s, low 70s, like that range. I would say like maybe like 68, 69.
Yeah.
It was a good movie. There's definitely some things that are weird, but overall not like a bunch of bad plot points, like not things that you could totally be like, wow, how did that ever happen if this didn't happen, kind of things.
Yeah.
So yeah, great movie.
Cool.
I'll be the judge of that.
I really want to go like watch it tomorrow now.
I think
I'm like super excited to watch it again.
We'll watch Zootopia first.
Yeah.
I saw Kung Fu Panda 3 last night.
Oh, I haven't seen that
Well, watch that first.
either. Okay, we'll both go see Batman again because I wouldn't mind seeing it again.
Okay.
Yeah.
Call in sick. Let's do it in the morning.
Yeah. All right. What's next?
Well, just staying on the DC theme a bit longer. I was saying about that press conference or whatever. They've announced all their books are going down to $2.99.
Oh, really? I saw that there was something
Wow.
about the price point, but I didn't get a chance to watch it. It's going to $2.99?
Every book. There's a one shot that's basically it's Rebirth, right? That's what
Mhm.
they're calling it. So it's 80 pages. This is one shot, $2.99.
Really?
That's badass,
and
dude.
it's a complete. They're just
Wow.
in that book. They're just gonna end stuff and begin stuff for the next lot. They're slimming down their line, so it's not like everyone has their own comic. It's now just the key players have their comics.
That makes sense.
Cool.
Yeah. And some other stuff that they were doing that I thought was quite interesting. I can't remember what it was, but yeah. So I thought the lowering the price was really good.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because they actually did this maybe 10 years ago now, something like that. And they had a tagline, drawing the line at $2.99. And they kind of abandoned that after a little while. I think they would be smart to do that because everybody, for some reason, when they get into comic books, are like, oh, let's go to Marvel. And it's like DC has just as good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I'm kind of slowly learning that because I'm reading a little bit more DC. I'm reading almost everything that comes from Gotham, though. Not
Yeah.
everything that comes from Gotham, but everything I read comes from Gotham for the most part. But some of the Red Hood stuff was cool. But yeah, if you really want people to get into comic books, you can't have like a $4 price point for every book. Because you buy 3 books, that's $12. It's like, that shit adds up quick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, $2.99, it's like, you get another book for the same price now, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's cool, dude. I'm glad that they're dropping the price.
Yeah, it was like an hour long, but it was just kind of fun to have on the background, just as they're talking about new storylines and who's coming in doing what. There were some that they kind of cut close to their chest,
Mm-hmm.
but others they were just like, "Oh yeah, we're writing the new Cyborg and blah blah blah. Here's everything about Cyborg," and I was like, "Cool, all right. Well, they're not shy in revealing anything there, you know."
Yeah.
So it was kind of a fun little event to listen to, but.
Yeah, this John Boy Myers guy, I absolutely love his artwork, and he's gonna be on Teen Titans, so that'll be a book I'm gonna start snagging.
Mhm.
So I can't get enough of that dude's stuff. But yeah, I get kind of irritated that there's always these like refreshes in universes. Like,
Yeah.
what if they just were to tell stories like from beginning to end and not just refresh them? Like if you're gonna end like this universe and you're gonna move on to like a different take, let's wrap that up.
Well, that's the
Yeah.
one thing they said is like it's not a brand new refresh. It's there are still certain people and certain things that will carry over, but for the most part, they're gonna wipe clean a lot of the kind of clutter.
Well,
'cause
this
it was
is
kind of a
the
fail.
thing from like an outsider standpoint. That's the thing that makes comics the least approachable, honestly.
Yeah.
Is the not linear storyline. Like I can't just say like, yeah, Batman is this. Like, we all have our aspects of Batman, but it's like, oh, but is it this Batman? Is it this Batman? Is it this one? Is this? It's like, oh, is the multiverse Batman? You know, it's like, oh my God, like that. Those are just writers' reasons to get out of not writing other people's schlock. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's what it came from, was like
Yeah,
the different
yeah.
writers picking it up and being like, oh, I don't want to do what that guy just did, so I'm gonna write this like hit into it that I can do
Yeah.
my own thing. And it's like, no, actually do what you say you're gonna do. Decisions really should be final. You know, like
There
if
should
you
be
want to do a whole,
consequence.
if you want to do a whole nother rehash of it, like yeah, rehash it after it's all done. After
Yeah.
you finish everyone off, after everything's done, and you book in that thing and say, "This is the series. Take it." Okay, now we're gonna start from
If-
page one.
yeah,
again and
yeah.
start-
If
and
you
start some
want
other
kind
stuff.
of the definitive Batman, I mean, there's a few stories that fall in that you could still read, and I think that they actually fit in to the story I'm about to tell you. But go and read the New 52 Batman up until what was it? What was the last Joker story before Commissioner Gordon became Batman?
Oh, like volume 4 or something, volume 3 or volume
It's a
4.
bit farther than that.
Oh, is
I
it?
think it's like 5 or 6. But read to the point. Here, I'll just throw a spoiler out there. Sorry if you don't want to hear this one. Batman basically dies, and Bruce
Oh, yeah, I
Wayne
read that.
stops being Batman.
Mhm.
When Batman apparently dies at the end, just stop reading it. But if you go from like Court of the Owls through that, to me that's like the best run of Batman comic books that there's ever been.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's some stories that stand up that are like, no, this is kind of like a key story, like Dark Victory or The Long Halloween, you know, Killing Joke,
Yeah.
Hush. Like those ones are kind of like some of the prominent ones, but just go through and read what Capullo and Snyder did, and in my opinion, that's the iconic Batman. I don't think you'll ever get better than that. There's some history that happened before it, but you're going to get exactly what you need in the stories, and you're gonna see. I don't know. It really is like the iconic Batman. Like, and I didn't think like anybody would ever kind of come up with this like Batman universe that I was gonna be like, no, that's exactly how it should be. I was really bummed when I saw that Scott Snyder's going somewhere else and Capullo's off and Dave Finch is replacing Capullo, because I used to love Dave Finch, but not so much anymore.
Yeah, it just like, I don't know, sometimes you get the impression that the best story that people have ever come up with is the very first one they've done, on the origin story of the character. And so they kind of love to rehash that one because it's like, hey, this story stands up to all weathers, let's just roll it out again, you know. So sometimes you get that impression. But
I think it's, and I don't know this from a fact, like from any sort of success, because no one's ever read or watched most of the things I've done. But
I've seen them.
but the thing is, I think when something becomes so iconic, people hold it to a certain standard. Like it has to fit their standard. And if you go in a direction that maybe the audience didn't like, or maybe felt like was not the attitude that they thought it should be, they get
Man of Steel.
yeah, they get all alienated.
Well, that's
they,
true.
They get,
That's
they
why
get all
cartoons
like,
were
poo-poo.
set at the end of every cartoon, because people like to know what's going on. They like consistency. They
Yeah.
like all that stuff. Family Guy will always be the exact same thing every time you start an episode. Same with Simpsons. Same with South Park. Every time, you know what I mean?
And you're never going to break that mold. Like, even as open-minded as I am, there are things where I'm like, phew, okay, that's out there. Like, that's not going to fly, you know? And you get that judgy feel. Like, the only way that you can not do that is if you've never been like, no, I don't like anything. I'll just take everything, and I just want to accept everything that everyone ever has done. And it's like, no, people have attitudes, and rightfully they should. But, you know, you can't let that drive your content. You should still drive the content.
I think that's the biggest problem with comic books nowadays is, you know, kind of like I said just a minute ago, is like consequence really isn't present in the mainstream comics. If Batman dies, you know he'll be back. And just like I was just saying a minute
Same
ago,
Bat
when
Day,
he
same Bat
dies,
channel.
he comes back. And to me, like, if you really want somebody to invest, if you want somebody to be terrified when they're reading something, in Game of Thrones, when characters go into battle that I care about, I'm like on the edge of my seat, because it's like they really could go, and they could go in like the most chump way possible, or they could go out like a hero, like. But every time one of them goes into battle, it's like there's weight to that, and I don't think comics even remotely gets to touch that. Like, it's just like, okay, well, how are they going to get out of it on this one? You know, like, and that kind of ruins stuff. It ruins the storytelling, and it just like it makes it almost kind of like laughable on some level, you know.
Well, you're talking about Marvel and DC, not necessarily like indie comics. and
Yeah.
stuff.
Oh, because indie comics, they'll go all the way and they'll kill whoever. But that was one of the fun things about the Ultimate Universe for a while was they were offing people, and sometimes it didn't really like they didn't need to be offed. But like when Spider-Man died, it's like the first time I got choked up in a comic book. You know, I was like dang, like this is brutal. But it's because the Marvel Universe with the Ultimate Universe, they had established that it matters. Like if you go, that's it. Like you're not coming back.
And that's the way it should be. Like straight out, no Lazarus pit or whatever it is that you get tossed in and you come back alive. You know, no Pet Cemetery where burying someone they just come back live evil.
They're not the same.
It's funny because, like, you know how you say cartoons reset?
Yeah.
I watched The Simpsons the other day, and it was just like progressed 10 years. Like it was teenage Lisa and teenage Bart and older Marge and Homer, but they didn't set it up as like a dream episode or a what if episode. That's just what the episode was, and it was like a sort of experiment of just sort of like, well, let's just do an episode where they're older. And I was like, what is
They
this
did that 10
canon?
years ago when they started young, but it was older for half the episode, and Lisa gets married and all that junk.
But no, this was like wasn't like the whole
just
episode was just a thing, like as if it was like this will happen in the future sort of thing. And I think I can't remember if I didn't finish it or it ended odd or something, but it was. No, yeah, it ended with like a sort of heartfelt thing between Bart and Lisa because they have an argument, but it was just them as teenagers, and I was just like, that's a very bold move because Simpsons is kind of.
Do you like that?
No, it felt strange. It felt really weird. It felt like I was like
when they did
not
like
watching the same people.
Rugrats, all grown up, you know,
Yeah,
kind of thing. It's
yeah.
like, ugh, like this is not my Rugrats.
Yeah, it did feel like I'd missed a chunk of like their lives, or it didn't feel like the same family.
Yeah.
It was really
Well,
odd.
if you don't have a show that progresses as you watch it, then it doesn't make sense for them to, at one point, just be like, we've been on for 25 years, but now everybody's going to be 10 years older. It just doesn't make sense to make that change that late in the game. Yeah.
Oh.
I have some news.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
You're pregnant.
I do. It's a baby octopus. How'd that happen? No.
He had a pretty beak.
I saw today some news that came out. It was about the Microsoft's HoloLens. They had this new thing called like, I don't know, someone quote me, probably I'm wrong, but I think it's like Microsoft like Holoport or something like that. Basically, it's like an array of cameras that can, so you can set up cameras in a room like this, and I can be standing here, and they'll film me, and they like 3D scan the room, and then Steve's, you know, somewhere else at his house, and he puts on his HoloLens, and he can see me walking around his room.
I love that your news comes with not even knowing what the hell it's called.
It is the Holoport. He was right.
But
it's a cool idea.
Yeah, what do you guys think?
It's an idea.
And
it's
vice
like,
versa. You could be scanning yourself, and I could have my, like, so we could basically be standing in the same room.
But we're not.
But you're not.
You take your pants
like-
off.
You know what this sounds like to me? We're finding a way to talk to Sidious. Like, it sounds like it's the new phone,
To
right?
Sidious?
Darth Sidious, bitch.
Oh. Darth Sidious, bitch.
Get on his level. No, that's what it is. I mean, it's totally that same tech. It's probably just going to be used for the CEO of a company. He wants to be in Hawaii, but he has a board meeting, so he steps in his hollow room.
Yeah.
And he appears there, you know.
I thought that's probably the most practical thing.
Yeah.
But another really practical thing that I think it could still be used for, even though it's expensive, would be maybe military or someone who's like, like I could see the military buying up like a little room in one of their bases and just putting the cameras there and saying
That'd
like,
be
hey,
cool.
walk in here and then your,
Chat with your
family
family
who
or
has
whatever.
HoloLens can like put it on and talk
Yeah,
to
see,
you
that'd be
and
pretty
see what you're
amazing.
saying.
Because, like, for the family, like, they may not be in the room, but that would be, like, the
just
closest
to
thing
be
you could get,
able
right?
to see somebody. Yeah.
Well,
that'd
and
be-
here's the other.
How does it come across? Because in my head, I'm already putting it in that blue, stupid thing.
Oh, no. It comes across full color pretty okay. I mean, some of it's still translucent. And of course, they're figuring out the bugs a little bit, but like
The
you can
seams
see.
crack a bit.
The
Like
seams.
every now and then you'll see like a sort of a break where it'll break apart. But it's generating like a 3D mesh of like all my clothes. Like they show the little girl in her dress and she's like walking around.
And she's showing her dad like
And-
toys and stuff.
Yeah, and she has an Elmo toy. It's like a fully rendered Elmo that she picks up, and you know, like, and then her dress is all flowing and stuff. and it's doing this all these calculations real time, live, over the internet. I mean, grant you, these guys are probably in one room that has a really great internet connection and everything, but that idea is like amazing. That we could get to that point eventually.
Just think, you just said cracking at the seams in a completely different way than it's normally said, and people are gonna be like, "What did it used to mean when the seams crack?" Like, that'll be a trip.
Yeah.
Her head just splits open like the Thing, and she just comes out.
Oh, she's cracking at the seams.
Yeah.
Well. Here's another practical use of how could
You're gonna have a squid baby.
Sexting.
Yeah.
Actually,
Sexting just got real.
I didn't even
Sex shops
think
will
about
get hold of
sexting
it.
because two guys give a high five. They could do like some sort of manipulation.
That's honestly like the biggest. That's gonna be when you know it's like a legitimate thing. Like when
The porn industry jumps
porn
in.
industry
Yeah.
jumps in, everything thrives. Like that's the craziest thing about the human race. Like
That's the
Blu-ray.
crazy thing about tech is tech pushes.
That's
forward.
how movies got their start. It's like, oh, we have a video camera. What should we record? Hey, let's record each other naked.
I'm gonna put it in that girl, and you're gonna record it.
I'm gonna show it to my
Thanks,
dad.
technology.
I don't feel so comfortable with this.
Record the damn picture, Laryl.
Laryl.
So what about this though for a practical use besides porn? Is like capturing your memories. So like you go into this room, record yourself, 3D self. Hey, I'm Scott, 2016.
Oh, like
And
Dear
then-
Diary.
Yeah, and then like you can like they showed it that you could like reproject it onto like whatever you want. So you could have like you in a room like walking around like, hey, yeah, this is Scott from 2016.
I don't know if you know this, but we have this other thing that records us. It's cameras.
You know what? You
Cameras
can't
record
see
journals.
you can't see it in 3 dimensions. You can't look around
Well,
like a
but
hologram.
you have to be in that room and forcibly make that memory. It's like,
that's not recording
no,
memories,
I'm
that's-
definitely going to make a memory
like
today.
maybe
It's gonna happen.
maybe on my HoloLens recordings I get filmed and then I die, horrific fate.
I love the idea.
Probably
of you
some sort of
building
ninja attack.
A frame, so you don't have to be in the
That's
room. You just got a frame around you, so you can walk around. And make memories.
And then like after I die my horrible ninja attack, then my wife can like look back and be like, oh man.
And it'll haunt her forever.
Oh man, where's the delete button? No, I can see it for like Christmases and birthdays and things. Like if you're in that room, but like to go in and like be very
Create a
forceful
memory.
with like
Holograms are gonna be the next like video of people on their porch and stuff.
yeah.
No, you don't think so?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think with it being as bulky, I think we will get to a point where we can like 3D record our meshes and whatever, and we'll
Yeah.
be able to do something like that. But it'll be when it becomes a consumer level device. But doing the whole like talking with people overseas and whatnot, yeah, I can see this happening. I can see this set up in specific places so you can do that, but it's not going to be a consumer level thing.
How are we doing for time? Because
We've got like a minute, or we were over an hour.
We're at an hour.
I'll save it for next time. It was
Oh.
something to do with 3D mesh and cameras, but
Oh.
Oh, okay. Well,
Well, I guess that's that. Abruptly
Well, if you want to have a hollow
like Scott's
porn fest with Scott, send us a message. We'll set something up. We've been putting stuff back on Facebook and the YouTubes and the Twitters, so follow us there. And
Yeah.
social media.
I also have a video that I shot for a Let's Play of
you did.
bootleg Pokemon.
What?
it's a good game. It's a good game.
It'll be up soon, right?
So yeah, I've already edited it down.
wow.
I'll probably post it before this gets posted, but I don't know how you guys feel. This is kind of like weird to talk about in this, but like I would like to see if we can get like some more subscribers. So like if enough people subscribe to the Pikachu video, the rip-off Pokemon video, like let's just say like 25, I'll release the second half because I have 2 hours of video.
So if it's worth it for you to edit it.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So like let's just say 25. If 25 people
Like it or
subscribe
comment
subscribe
or-
to our channel
Oh, okay.
on YouTube,
Oh, yeah.
I'll post the second video, and I'll also post that in like the comments on Facebook.
There you
So
go. Cool.
So you're going a roundabout way of saying, share this, bitches.
yeah, I'm actually not roundabout. It's like share this, or else I will make it video.
You know what the biggest problem is you never shared on your own page. Lead by example. Lead by example.
All right, everybody tell Scott to share it on his own page, and we will see you guys next week.
Bye.
Later.
Bye.
Bye.